Okay, you can see the screen now, isn't it?
Yes, please.
Yes, please.
All right. So let's do a quick refresher from last week. Anything at all that you recall from last week that you can share with us?
Yeah, Prof.
Mm-hmm.
So I recall that last week you made us understand that green HRM is a combination of green and HRM, and that we need to understand the two disciplines, which is green and HRM, to be able to appreciate the course better.
Okay. Mm-hmm. Any other?
Prof.
Okay, Prof. I also
Prof.
got to learn that when you talk of green HRM and sustainability, green HRM is a way of getting the right people to work and then induct them to the job, train them with all they need, and then the sustainability also, to my understanding, I came to know that it means the ability to maintain or support process over a long-term environment, society, or economy. And then we talked about the three concepts, which is the economic, environment, and then the social. And then we also talk of the drivers of green HRM, that is to address climate change challenges and also to fight against climate change. Then companies also need top-down approach to move forward their sustainability. And then we also come to the employees, and then that of the stakeholders.
Okay. Is it Ahina Kwa or who wanted to come in?
Okay, Prof.
Miriam, okay.
Okay, thank you. Please, I also got what Green HRM was about. You made us understand that is about you incorporating or like integrating the sustainable environmental concept into the HR practices, which will enable you to achieve the organizational goal. And these concepts were the economic, which talks about how you are maximizing or you are being profitable. The environmental talks about how you are protecting the environment, that you are not causing harm to it for future use. And then the social is about the welfare and the being of the workforce or the employee in the organization. And we also got to know of some of the importance when it comes to you practicing green HRM in an institution. One is it saves cost and energy. It also enhances or improves employer branding, whereby when you practice it, it attracts, it becomes attractive to people out there and would like to patronize or like want to get into your organization and do business with you. It's also a way of you managing risks. So this is the little I also got from last week's submission. Thank you.
Thank you for that. Ahina Kwa, or if
Yes, Prof.
yes,
So
yes.
the bit I got was that when we are talking about green HRM, we are talking about organizations, how they achieve their goals, yet how they also protect the environment in the achievement of their goals, how they also consider the environment by reducing their carbon footprints. So with this, HR comes in and its policies drives the company to achieve these. So what happens is that the company itself things or certain practices that makes them reduce how their activities impact the environment in such a way that future generations are also able to benefit from the environment and not destroy it completely. Thank you.
Thank you. Any other? Jessica. Whatever do you remember?
Prof, please, I learned that Green HRM integrates across HR functions like the normal HR functions we know, which is recruitment and selection, training and development, and etc. It doesn't only have to constitute on one side, but it integrates across HR functions as well. That's what I learned, Prof.
Okay. Ike, Obin.
Hello, hello, Prof.
What's that?
Good afternoon, Prof.
Afternoon, sir.
Sorry, Prof, not to give an excuse, but I was unable to join the class last week. That's my problem.
Okay. So, Frederick. Grace Atta.
Okay, Doc, please. Last week, to what I took home was that the HR function should also focus on sustainable development and how it gives us a competitive advantage when we are engaging in activities that sustain the environment. So that is how come now HR is going into that aspect to also give the organization a competitive advantage. I know what. Thank you.
Naomi.
Yes, Prof.
Yes, ma'am.
I learned about the HR initiative. Said they are the recruitment and talent management, employee engagement and education. Then they talk about the diversity, equity, and inclusion for sustainability. Then also we move on to the wellness programs and sustainability programs. Then the tracking and the reporting. Then we move on to policy development. Thank you.
We are losing her. Nana baby.
Good day, Prof. Please, the name is Abedu.
Abedu, where is it?
Yes, Abedu.
Okay.
Okay, so Prof.
Yeah, Abedu, yeah.
Yes, sir. So last week, I remember we first spoke about human resource management, where we basically said it's the recruitment and management of workforce in an organization. We also spoke about sustainability, referring to it as maintaining a process over the long term. And then we also spoke about green HRM, where we defined it as a set of systems that encourage the green behavior of a company's employees and how important green HRM is. Like my colleague Miriam spoke about cost saving and improving corporate social responsibility practices, amongst others. Thank you.
Thank you. Amapo. Ama-apo. Estación. Patricia Amoa.
Hello, Prof.
Yes, Mama.
I was the first person to actually speak.
Who is that?
Hello, Prof.
Who is speaking?
Oh, Prof, please, this is Esther. Sorry,
Okay.
I think I had not unmuted myself. So my network was bad. I was having challenges. I just joined. But with what I heard from last week lectures, so with green HRM is anything that will, I'm even confused, Kra. It's the things that are able to sustain, what you call it, the company. It has to do with um, the environment. It has to do with all other things that put together that will make things work well. That's why we have the sustainable. Oh, please let me come back.
No
I beg you.
problem. Rosemary will take it from you there, so don't worry. Rosemary,
Yes, Prof.
she says you should continue from her. She told me.
Prof,
She told me that you should continue from her.
yeah, Prof, what I also learned is that for green for green behaviors to be exhibited through employees, it must be demonstrated in the work in the workplace through various daily practices, such as conservation of resources, which is energy saving, turning off computers, monitors, etc. And secondly, water conservation, which also include reporting leaks immediately and using automated or low flow water features responsibly. Waste reduction and recycling, sustainable travel and commuting. Thank you.
Okay. Wisdom, Ayete.
Prof, good afternoon.
Afternoon.
So I gathered that Green HRM is integrating the Sustainable Development Goals in the HRM activities, such that the organization is being aware of the impact of its activities on the environment and the well-being of its stakeholders. Stakeholders being either the employees, the clients, the suppliers, and all that are either impacted or whose activities impact the organization. And then we also talked about the importance, whereas the integration of green HRM helps to save costs and then improve the brand of the company or the organization, and also helps to manage risk, and then also makes the company more competitive, and then also sustain its competitive advantage over a long period. Thank you.
Thank you. Sarah. Sarah Davina. Collins Otu.
Yeah, Prof.
Hello,
Good
Prof.
afternoon, Prof. Okay.
Who wants to take it?
Okay, David, I can take it.
No, it wasn't Davina. This is Patricia.
Okay.
So, Prof, I wanted to add something to what I said earlier. So last week, you also made us understand that when it comes to green HRM and sustainability, HR had a very important role to play when it comes to developing strategies that is going to protect the environment. Because you said that HR ensures that the organization, it aligns, the organization is aligned to its goals and that of its employees, and helps integrate sustainable criteria into its recruitment process. Since it is HR that brings the people into the organization, that is one thing that I recall from last week, sir.
Okay. Who was coming in before you came in?
Collins, sir.
Collins Otu. Okay.
Yeah, Prof. Good afternoon, Prof.
After sir. Go ahead, sir. Okay. Maybe we are losing him. Who wants to add anything before we continue? Yolanda, I haven't heard from you today.
Prof,
Yes, ma'am.
good afternoon.
If you are using two devices, meet one.
Doc, Prof, please, I'm not.
Okay.
I think maybe Mariam. So what I learned is like bringing people who already care about the environment and training everyone on the small habits and also we the company recycle everything into a new product that is saving energy and other stuff.
Okay. Who hasn't? Who hasn't? Who hasn't? Okay. All right. So, Jessica, do you want to come in now?
All right. Prof.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, Robert here.
Okay.
Yeah, so we spoke about some of the drivers of green HRM, that to understand why green HRM is being incorporated in today's business organizations. So we are saying that business or companies are going green today in terms of trying to fight climate change, and then also to build employer branding, and also for HRs to incorporate sustainability policies into the normal organizational policies that have been established, and also in terms of their recruitment processes, whereby it makes the organization attractive for candidates who also share and align with the same green policies or sustainable goals established within the companies. And then we are saying that employees are the key drivers for ensuring sustainability. Because if, as an organization, you implement or you introduce your sustainable policies or the goals, and your employees are adamant to it, they do not want to adhere or even follow in line with it, then you are not achieving the goal as an organization. And also, we are saying that for green HRM to take effect, it has to be a top-down approach whereby the change must start from the top management, that's the leaders or executives, or let's say the board, before it trickles down to the last employee or the least person in the organizational hierarchy for green HRM. So this is the little I have to add on.
Okay. All right. So now, before we retired last week, we were asked to see if we can read around sustainable development goals and the targets. Were we able to read around them?
Yes, Prof.
Okay. Can we share some of the goals and the targets that we will get? In the first place, what is the UN Sustainable Development Goals? What are they?
Okay, Prof. From my understanding, they are a framework that helps to harmonize sustainable development, economic growth, and then social inclusion in the UN states, so to say, such that it becomes a benchmark for institutions to adhere to, so that the goal ultimately would be achieved for the sustainable growth of, all these countries or member countries.
Okay. So what are some of the goals that you read around?
So the first one is no poverty. That's the SDG 1. And then it had a couple of targets. The first one was to eradicate extreme poverty. And then the second one was to reduce at least by half the proportion of men and women and children living in poverty. The third was to implement nationally appropriate social protection systems and measures. And then the fourth was ensure equal rights to economic resources, basic services, ownership, and land control. The fifth was to build resilience of the poor to climate-related extreme events and economic shocks. And then to mobilize resources from a variety of sources to implement poverty eradication programs. And then finally, create some policy framework at national and global levels based on pro-poor strategies basis. So that's the first SDG goal. Thank you.
Okay. Any other?
So please, I'm continuing from what Wisdom ended. So it also talked about the gender equality. So the goal is to achieve gender equality and empower women, girls' education, and other stuffs. It also, I think the eighth one was clean water and sanitation. That is, we the African or the rural areas get access to clean water and safe water too. So I'm done.
Hello, Prof.
Okay, Prof. So I'll continue from Yolanda. So we also learned about I think the ninth one talks about decent work and economic growth. That is sustain inclusive and sustainable economic growth. That is full and productive employment. And then with the industry innovations and infrastructure. And then that is to build resilient infrastructure, promote inclusive and sustainable industrialization. And then we also talked about the reduced inequalities. That is, reduce inequalities within and among countries. Then sustainable cities and communities. That is, make cities and human settlements inclusive, safe, resilient, and sustainable. Thank you.
Okay. Any other?
Prof, I'll take us through the second goal, which is zero hunger.
Okay.
And it was to end hunger, achieve food security, and improve nutrition. The main focus for this goal was to access safe and nutritious food and also increase agricultural productivity, as well as to support small-scale farmers. And I would touch on 2 targets for the zero hunger, which is end all forms of malnutrition and double agricultural productivity. The next goal is quality education. So quality education, they were trying to make sure, they would want to make sure that there's inclusive and equitable quality education to promote lifelong learning and to give opportunity for all. So the focus was to have free primary and secondary education, which we have here in Ghana, and equal access to higher education. So the targets, or some of the targets, would be to increase vocational and technical skills and ensure that children complete quality education or have access to quality education. Thank you, Prof.
Okay. Any other?
Yes,
So
Prof.
goal 12, on goal 12, we have responsible consumption and production. They wanted to sustain management and the sustainability of sustainable management of natural resources, reduction of waste generation, and then to ensure awareness for sustainable development.
Okay.
Prof.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so Prof, I want to talk about goal 13, which is the climate action.
Okay.
So with the climate change, it refers to the long-term changes of weather patterns, temperature, and all the things that are happening. So you realize that an area in Accra like Agbogbloshie, it tends to be one of the places that is having a lot of effects on the climate. So there are studies that are going on over there, and not just that. We can talk about deforestation. We can talk about the galamsey issues that are going on, pollution from industries, and a major thing is even the EV vehicles that are now being promoted to reduce cars that use fuel. So the main focus is UN taking steps to fight this climate change, to reduce all the effects that is having on people and then the environment. So you realize that with the climate change, some of the things that happen, there are floods. I don't know if I mean, like growing up, you know that June, July, it's heavy rains, but nowadays things are kind of changing and we can't take Ghana out of it. So that's what I can say about the goal 13.
Okay.
Hello, Prof.
Yes, ma'am.
So I would move from the goals and focus on the 169 targets. Now, the targets are there because when it came to the goals, each goal was supported by a specific target to help serve as a benchmark for progress. So how for them to know that what we are doing, this is the goal, it means we are moving forward or we are still where we are. So if you look at the first goal, which was looking at elevating poverty entirely, in the target, they included targets like eradicating extreme poverty for all people everywhere by 2030. Now, if you look at the 13th goal, which spoke about the climate action, in their targets, they were looking at strengthening resilience to climate-related hazards like natural disasters, among others. So that's what I want to add, sir.
All right. Any other?
Prof,
Yes,
another
sir.
goal is the gender equality,
Mm-hmm.
which seems to achieve gender equality and empower all women and girls. This can be done by eliminating all forms of discrimination against women and girls, eliminating all harmful practices such as the female genital mutilation, child marriages, and also adopt legislation that will protect women's rights and productive health, and also give women equal right to economic resources and opportunities. And also, I think, enhance women in technology and women empowerment. Thank you.
Okay,
What is
Prof.
good?
So I'll
Yes.
also say a little about the connections to HRM with the SDGs connections to HRM. So when you look at the three, which is the health and well-being, is directly, connect to HR, that policy surrounding occupational health, mental health support, and then work-life balance. And then when it comes to the education, it's also linked to HR mandates for employee training, development, and then upskills for the green transition. And then when you also look at the reduce inequalities, it's also centered to modern HR diversity, that is equity and inclusion, initiatives ensuring fair hiring and pay equity. And then when you also talk about, when you look at the gender equalities, the gender equalities also talks about like fairness among gender or discrimination among genders. Thank you.
Okay. What is Goal 15 about?
Goal 15.
Prof. So Robert here. Yeah, so Goal 15 is about life on land. That's to protect the ecosystems and as well as the biodiversity. So because we are saying that human life depends heavily on the land resources that we have, which includes the agriculture, forests, and also it supports the support for food supply. So our biodiversity, having clean air, and then good climate regulation. So we're saying that if there is land degradation, or maybe there's distraction to our forest, that's deforestation, which is currently increasing in today's world. Because even when you're looking at what's happening in our water bodies, to say that's the Galamsey, it's growing rapidly, and then it seems nothing is being done about it, which is harming our water bodies, harming the ecosystem in general. That's affecting the communities close by, and even affecting those in urban areas gradually. So we are saying that there should be a way to protect our lands, and then also ensure that any action is taken to protect the ecosystem, basically preserve the biodiversity, and also have sustainability for our climate and then global peace in general. Thank you.
What about 16? Goal 16.
Prof, the goal 16 talks about peace, justice, and strong institution. And that's to promote peaceful and inclusive societies, provide access to justice for all.
Okay. And 17.
17, that is partnership for the goals. That is to strengthen the means of implementation and revitalize the global partnership.
Okay.
Thank you.
We were also asked to search for the AU Agenda 2050. Any ideas? Are we there?
Yes, Prof.
The AU Agenda 2063. Any ideas when you read out?
Okay, so Prof, AU Agenda 2063 was set up very long time ago. That's, I think, was launched around 2012 or 2013. And the agenda or the vision was to talk about what Africa wants. And their main aim was to improve the quality of life of Africans, and also to talk about the unity among African countries, about economic growth, good governance, peace, and all that, and also making Africa a strong global leader. So that's what I remember.
Okay. Any other? There are seven agenda aspirations for Africa. Who also read around them?
So, Prof,
Mm-hmm.
kind of trying to make Africa as one. So the key thing that goes on, or we talk about now, is like all Africans, like kind of getting one passport, or even if we can talk about an example, I think recently there was this issue about you coming to Ghana, I think even without a visa. If you're an African, you can come in. So like more or less like free movement of African people, about trade between African countries, and then I think about transport also. So I think that's the second one, an integrated continent.
Any other
Okay,
contribution?
so it also talked about the human rights, like the respect for human rights, justice, and rule of law.
Mm-hmm.
So it's also talk about the importance of accountability leadership, democratic institution, and protection of human rights, which you know it.
Mm-hmm. Can anyone help?
Doc, I want to talk about Agenda 4.
Okay.
So Agenda 4 speaks to a peaceful and secure Africa. Here, the agenda is trying to speak on silencing guns and ending conflicts in Africa. As we all know, some parts of the continent is burdened with a lot of conflicts. We're talking about the DR Congo, up north Nigeria, Boko Haram, etc., etc. The agenda is to reduce guns and then conflicts in general. The key goal is conflict prevention, resolution, and peace building. So Africa is free from war, civil strife, and terrorism. That's Agenda 4.
Okay.
Thank you.
Any other?
Hello, Prof.
Yes.
Please, the Agenda 5 talks about strong culture and identity. That is promotion of Africa culture and heritage. And then the African values and then their ethics. Then we also talk about the cultural renaissance. And you move on to the sixth. The sixth talks about people-driven development. That is empowerment of women and youth. Then equal opportunity for all citizens. Then the last one is inclusive social and economic development. Thank you.
Okay, any other?
Sir, please. Another agenda was that Africa was seen as a strong united, resilient, and influential global player, whereby Africa was repositioning to have a significant voice in the international affairs and global governance at large. Thank you.
Okay. Is there anything anyone wants to ask?
That's why you told it so far. I don't like that.
Okay, sir. I wanted to add that to what Ahinakwa also said. He was speaking about guns down. Mechanisms were also established, not only just gun down, but then mechanisms were also established to resolve conflicts or prevent them and then bring peace, including the African peace and security architecture.
Okay.
Oh,
Is there
that was that.
Rosemary, you want to add something?
Hello, Prof. It was already
Yes.
said.
Okay. Is there anything anyone wants to add? All right.
I after reading on it, I also looked out to the link with all these 7 AU links to HRM, a green HRM. Sorry. So when you look at the peaceful and secured Africa, to link it to the green HRM, I realized that it helps in an organization to promote workplace safety, conflict resolution training, and then employee well-being to contribute to a broader peace and stability initiatives. And then with a strong cultural identity and then common heritage values. By linking it to green HRM, I realized that it will help promote cultural awareness and embed African values in an organizational culture and then leadership. And then with the development I realized that it helps patronize employee engagement, health, education, and skill development. It's also to empower citizens and then drive growth. And then with the 7, that is the strong, united, resilience, and influential. I also, with the link to Green HRM, it's help build global competencies, cross-cultural teams, and then position Africa as a hub for international talent and then innovations. Thank you.
Okay. Is there anything anyone wants to add? All right. So now, we were asked to also read around certain companies that are practicing green HRM and the strides that they've made or are making in those areas. Was anybody able to read around that?
So yes, so locally, I took MTN. So MTN has a project called Project Zero, and the ambition is to achieve things by 2040. And with this, the company has even transitioned most of its infrastructure in terms of their buildings and major centers to use solar power instead of direct electricity. They've gone ahead to install about 2.4 megawatts of solar capacity across base transceiver sites and modernize cooling systems to cut energy usage. So, like we were saying the other day, to reduce some of the carbon footprints, we are talking about conservation of energy. Solar is much more is better than not better, but it's more feasible. It's more, it's, let me say, it's less expensive. Not less expensive, but it is more
More
viable
eco-friendly or
eco-friendly. Thank you, eco-friendly. Than electricity. So they adopted solar instead of the usage of electricity. Also, they have introduced biodegradable SIM cards. So this impacts environment directly, because most of these SIM cards are made out of plastic, and you find them in the soil and they don't degrade. They pollute thereby affecting the soil. They also have a greener fleet with 10 electric vehicles. So they've also adopted this EV type of thing, making less use of the combustible engines, which are the fossil fuels. Yeah. So by linking sustainability targets to leadership, KPIs and employee engagement, MTN makes environmental responsibility part of daily operations and corporate culture. Thank you, sir.
Okay, any other contribution?
Okay, Prof. So please, with the IBM, I looked at their overview, their green HRM initiatives, and then their general sustainability, and then their critiques. So with their overview, I found out that IBM is a legacy global technology and consulting corporation, and it's been one of the recognized organizations that adopts an environmental policies. And then with their initiatives, IBM integrates environmental training heavily into its employee development, and then they also support employee. And then with their green team, they offer a pay time off for employees who volunteer for sustainability projects. And then the HR also enforces a strict environmental supplier code of conduct that employees must adhere to it. And then their general sustainability, IBM has set a rigorous goal to achieve net zero greenhouse gas emissions by 2030, and then heavily focus on energy conservation, renewable energy procurement, and then carbon capture technologies. But they have their critics. That is, as a hardware and cloud provider, IBM grapples with the tech industry massive e-waste challenge. And then, so looking at the SDG 8, which talks about decent work, IBM has faced a significant criticisms and then lawsuits regarding recent mass layouts of alleged ageism, which sharply contradicts the social equity pillars and historic sustainability. And then with Honda, it's also one of the Japanese public multinational manufacturing of automobiles, that is bicycles and the motorcycles and power equipment. And then with their initiatives, they focus on heavily on green training for production and manufacturing and employees to minimize factory waste. And then performance metrics for plant managers are often linked to environmental KPIs, that is the energy and water usage. And then the employees are actively encouraged to participate in data gathering for the Honda environmental annual reports. And then with their general sustainability, they operate as a 000 vision, aiming for zero environmental impacts, zero traffic fatalities involving its vehicles, and then zero energy resources issued by 2050. But their honest critique is, while efficiency in manufacturing, Honda has faced a criticism for being comparatively slow in the transition of fully battery electric vehicles, and then compared to competitors like Tesla or China manufacturers, and then relying instead for too long on hybrids and then hydrogen fuel cell technologies. Then to also talk about the Goldman Sachs. The Goldman Sachs is a leading global investment banking and then securities and then investment management firm. And then with their initiatives, the firm has aggressively rolled out ESG, that's environmental, social, and governance training across its workforce. And then their sustainability metrics are increasingly embedded in performance reviews for asset management. And then with the HR also promotes diversity targets and high-end employee well-being programs. And then with their sustainability, Goldman Sachs has been operationally carbon neutral since 2015 and committed 750 billion US dollars over the 10 years. And then by 2030, they are to sustainable finance, investing, and then adversary activities. And their critics also talks about the bank being frequently accused of green washing by climate NGOs because despite its operational neutrality, it remains a massive underwriter for fossil fuel expansion globally. And then it's aggressive to work culture. Thank you.
Any other?
Who did that?
Hello?
Okay, Prof, I'd like to talk about Google.
Google, okay.
Yeah, so online reports, you're seeing that Google is recognized as a company that is well baked into green HRM, whereby sustainability is deeply rooted into their culture and HR practices. So it's also saying that Google promotes green skills training amongst their employees. They engage employees in sustainability initiatives, and it also uses digital HR systems to reduce their environmental impact. And also they are achieving carbon neutrality and relying on renewable energy. So it's also saying that Google has been carbon neutral since the year 2007, and it matches 100% of its electricity consumption with renewable energy purchases. So then again, employees are active agents in achieving this goal because it's even with the drivers we spoke about, it said that employees are the key players in this when you are trying to achieve or attain green HRM or go green or sustainability. So that's what Google is practicing here. And it also reflects that they are very substantive rather than symbolic. And then their green HRM implementation is limiting the risk of greenwashing. So that's for Google.
Limiting what?
So it's limiting the risk of greenwashing.
Okay. All right. So any other?
So for the Starbucks.
Starbucks, okay.
Yeah, so with Starbucks, when you research, what I got was the saying that the company focuses on environmental sustainability. They also focus on employee welfare, there's community development, they have their ethical sourcing. So when it comes to their employee environmental training, they train their employees on waste reduction, there's recycling, there's energy conservation. So this supports the SDG Goal 4, that's quality education, and then the climate action, that's in relation to the recycling and energy conservation. Then they talk about ethical sourcing of coffee. So there's this sustainable farming. They have places where they cultivate the coffee. There's fair trade practices. So with this, they contribute to the SDG Goal 8, and that's decent work and economic growth. And then SDG Goal 12, responsible consumption and then production. They also practice waste reduction and recycling. That is, they promote reusable cups. There's reduced plastic waste. They have eco-friendly packaging. And then when it comes to the employee welfare and then inclusion, they support diversity and then inclusion. They have fair treatment for their employees. There's health and educational benefits. So this supports SDG Goal 5, that's the gender equality, and then reduce inequality, that's SDG Goal 10. And then they have community services and social responsibility. So they have community projects, they have volunteer activities, and then they have environmental campaigns. So that is what I got about Starbucks. And then so with Starbucks, then that's what I got, Prof.
Okay. Who were able to read around General Electricals?
Prof, I did.
Okay, good.
So,
Let's see.
Prof, with General Electric House, I found out that they use their eco-imagination strategy to engage employees in green innovation by providing internal rewards for ideas that reduce the company's ecological footprint. Now, they focus heavily on renewable energy sources like wind turbines, and then decarbonization technologies for the aviation and then their power sector. That is what I came across with the General Electric House.
Okay, who are smoking? Let me go through my list. Has Naomi, has Naomi spoken? Is she with us at all, Naomi? Because so far, she's not responding.
Please, I have.
Pardon me?
Please, I have.
You have? Oh, okay.
Yes.
What about Ayuba? Ayuba?
Prof, Ayuba reached out earlier that he had some emergencies. So I'm sure where he is, he's unable to communicate. But then he did say he will join to listen. So I'm sure that's why he's not participating in the class.
What about Grace Atta?
Prof, with Grace is heavily pregnant. So I don't know if maybe she has gone into labor as the class is ongoing.
She's online.
Yes, sir. But I know she's almost due. She's heavily pregnant, Prof. So I don't know if she has gone into labor and has in rush. Maybe they left her phone or something.
Well, we can all rush to the labor ward, or what do you think? To go and provide green labor. What do you think?
That's good, but geographical locations will not make it possible unless those in Accra, Prof.
And then we can make a digital green labor for her.
I think that we'll have to do that, Prof.
Rosemary.
Prof.
Have you shared any reading around any company that is practicing green HRM?
Not yet.
You want to do that now?
Prof, unless it will be a repeated something, is it allowed?
Unless what?
Repeated something, is it allowed?
Yes. I just want to hear you.
All right, Prof. I would like to touch on Google. Google green workplace and hybrid work. Google heavily relies on digital onboarding, paperless HR administration, and robust remote work options. This significantly cuts down on employee commuting emissions and corporate office waste. And also green facilities management, which means HR partners with facilities to manage some of the world's most energy efficient data centers and offices, many powered by 100% renewable energy. And also employee engagement. Google also fosters an active culture of sustainability by supporting internal employee-led green teams that brainstorm and execute eco-friendly initiatives at regional offices. Thank you.
Okay. Who else? Who else? Who else?
Prof, please, I want to add something.
Okay, go ahead.
Am I permitted? Okay. So I want to touch on one of the when it comes to the African countries. So I'm using Ghana for instance. A company that is practicing is the Jospon group of companies, which is one of their arm is Zoom Lion. Okay, so Zoom Lion has integrated recycling and compost plants across all the 16 regions in Ghana. Once upon a time, when household makes their trash, it's either they burn them, they bury them, or yes, they burn them, which doesn't make us so friendly to the environment. And is talking about sustainable cities and communities. So what Zoom Lion is doing is that they gather the rubbish and then recycle them. So for instance, they go to various hospitals, they get their incinerations, they use tools that they have used, and then Zoom Lion will process and recycle it. So that they give to a manufacturing company, which also is under the Jospon group. They recycle them into this plastic chairs, plastic tables, anything about plastic, so buckets and other stuff. The waste that they also collect and they use it for biogas. The rubbish too, they are being sorted and then they recycle them and turn them into manure, which they give them or they supply them to agricultural companies or agricultural businesses to use to grow their crops. So this is what Jospon Group or Zoom Lion, which is under the Jospon Group, is also doing to help enhance sustainability in Ghana. As I speak to you now, they've gone to the various African countries, trying to partner with them to also introduce this environmental sustainability to them. Thank you.
Okay. Who wants to add on?
Okay, sir. So
Yes.
we can add Unilever Ghana too. Unilever has a green HRM. It implements its green HRM through a sustainable living plan. It focuses on manufacturing efficiency and employee engagement. The company endeavors to reduce its carbon footprint by shifting to renewable energy, reusing water, and moving towards zero waste in factories. So most of their green agenda is based on their factory processes. So they usually find means to reuse the water. The disposal of their waste is more efficient, and the use of raw materials is efficient in such a way that by the end of whatever they are doing, even some byproducts or even waste is used as raw materials for other companies. Other companies purchase their waste as their raw materials to do their operations too. HR practices include online recruitment, green training, and performance management tied to sustainable targets. As identified in studies of Ghana manufacturing firms. Employee involvement is encouraged through capacity building programs that promote regenerative agriculture and sustainable sourcing from smallholder farmers. The approach strengthens Unilever's corporate image and environmental performance in Ghana. Thank you.
Thank you. Any additions, subtractions, multiplications? Ayuba Aguda, is he the one who had emergency?
Yes, Prof.
Okay, then who? Has Jessica been speaking today?
Yes, Prof.
Yes.
Sir, please, Isaac is quiet.
Where is he, Crowd? That Isaac, where is he?
Oh, say,
Isaac Obi, isn't it?
say,
Yes,
I'm here.
Prof.
Somebody wants to betray me.
My popular request to you, it's not me.
You've
Okay,
not
say.
spoken.
Oh,
Prof,
hello,
Prof,
say.
please.
So they are forcing me to speak, so I will do.
They are popular requests. You see,
Yeah. My contribution will border on whether the company is involved in the production of services or into production of physical products. So whether the company is into service production or physical production, for the company's effort to sustain green HRM borders on the following of what I'm coming to say. If a company wants to maintain green HRM, first, the company should train staff to make staff be aware of the importance of green. Hello.
Go ahead.
Hello.
Go ahead.
Yeah, the company should train their personnel or their staff and make them aware of the importance of green HRM in the areas of environmental protection, energy conservation, and maybe waste reduction and others too. The employees or the staff must be involved in the development of programs targeting green HRM. For example, recycling programs and tree planting exercises, energy saving activities, community environmental projects like communal labor and that sort of things, and green workforce practices, which border on reduction of paper usage through maybe digitalization or computerized software and energy efficient offices and factories, and waste sorting and recycling of waste that are not immediately needed. That's my little contribution to this.
Okay. Who wants to add on?
Sir Umu.
Where is he? Umu. Where is Umu? Where is he? What's the name? What name did you mention?
Sir Umulati.
What? Yes.
I joined in earlier on, but I was having challenges with my
I'm
network.
looking
So
for the name. I'm looking for the name here. What's the name?
my name is Umul Kalsum Mohammed.
You've hidden for a long time, pal.
So my network.
Okay. Then thank God you are back.
Yes,
So
I just
popular request. When you were not here, people were just like, hey, where is Umu? Where is Umu? So please.
oh, yes. Hey, sure.
Any ideas? Were you able to read around any company that is practicing green HRM and making any significant effort in that regard? Okay, all right. So let's move on to this brainstorming. Today, we are going to look at how to cultivate green organizational culture. We've understood green to mean sustainability. We've understood HRM as managing employees in organizations. We've understood green HRM to mean how to integrate sustainability in HRM functions. Therefore, how do we cultivate sustainable organizations? That is to say, how do we cultivate green culture in organizations to make the organizations sustainable or to make the organization green, sustainability inclined? What is culture? Any ideas?
So please, you say culture refers to shared values, beliefs, customs, behaviors, and then traditions. It can even be a way of life of a group of people or society. So this influence how they think, communicate, behave, and interact with one another. So we can also say that culture is learned and passed from one generation to generation through language, education, religion, social institutions, and then the daily experiences. Thank you.
Okay, any other idea?
So just like Naomi said, it's a way of life, or how people go about their activities. The more that they showcase a particular pattern, it becomes something that can be associated with them. Like when, before everybody goes to police academy, you have never been to the road, you don't know how to stop car. When you go to the depot, they don't teach you. But when you come, everybody has, you start working with the old hands. Before you know, you also start doing all the things that they do. So it becomes your way of life too. Thank you, sir.
Okay, any other?
Hello, Prof.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, to my understanding, when we say culture, we mean the manner or ways of how people live in the areas of what they value, what they believe in, their customs, tradition, and the language spoken. That's for
Okay.
me.
All right. So, as you people have rightly pointed out, cultures span through values, beliefs, behaviors of people, the way of life of people, a group of people, how they behave, informed by their beliefs and values. That becomes the culture of that particular group of people. So it follows that if culture is the values, beliefs, and behaviors of a group of people, then what do you think organizational culture will be? Any ideas?
Should I
Prof,
try?
I would say,
Please go on.
Please, who wanted to come in?
Okay, Prof, can I say that green culture is a way of life or the mindsets or a way that's when people live will help to promote the environment or protect the environment and then sustain the environment where they find themselves, like in an organization. So, like a way of life or mindset or a practice that will help to protect the environment or sustain the environment without
Okay.
causing any harm or
Any,
like reduce waste. Thank you.
any other?
Okay, sir. Please, I also want to try.
Okay, go ahead.
Organizational culture, I also believe, will be how the organization integrates its core values, their norms, their daily operations into the organizational culture to enhance performance and employee engagement.
Okay. Any other?
How they put together their core values, their norms, daily activities or operations
Mm-hmm.
in the organization to enhance their performance.
Prof.
Yes, yes, ma'am.
Okay, so Esther here. So Prof,
Okay.
maybe you can also say that organizational culture is the way like organizations do their things. Sometimes you work with an organization and somebody will say like, hey, I had a yes or maybe this is how
Aha.
we do our things.
Without
Uh,
power.
so it could be that they are friendly, they are flexible, or there are strict rules. So there's a place around Achimota. I've forgotten the name, but they deal with classes. There's no way you can have your phone there. When you go there, you have a place, they'll collect your phones and put there, and then they have an emergency number that in case anybody wants to reach out to you, then so that's what I understand about organizational culture. Like how do you do
Okay.
their things within? Yeah.
Okay. Any other?
yeah, Prof.
Okay, Prof.
Yes,
I would
Mama.
also say that it is what the organization does and how they do it, which is mostly influenced by a common goal or belief or tradition that they share.
Mm. Okay. Any other?
Prof, please. I also say an organizational culture. It's a well structured or laid down rules and regulations that
Mm-hmm.
governs an organization or that give the guidelines to the employees to work with and promote the organizational performance or its goal. Thank you.
All right. Okay. So, as you people rightly just pointed out, every organization has its own culture, as somebody said. I had a yes, I had a say any.
Hello,
So,
Prof.
yes, sir.
Please, can I ask a question?
Please go ahead.
Okay. I'm referring to the organization culture. When somebody said, mention I had the yes our hall, because when I'm now a staff of Fusu College of Education. After working for some time with the University College of Agri. So I was posted to the registry. By then the inscription was General Office. So I discussed the issue with the principal and said I want to change the name to the registry to be in line with structures in a tertiary or university. So I changed the name from the General Office to the registry. The following morning, when I came to the office, I saw that the inscription had been removed. So I asked those I came to meet in the office. I said, I changed the name to registry in the consultation of the registrar, the principal. And they were saying, no, yes, how? You were to a general office. But because before I contacted the principal to change the name, you could see that during break time, drivers will come and eat. Other staff will come and chat here, talk politics, party politics. So can I say that if that practices was or were their organizational culture or components of their organizational culture, was that good or, was that a perfect practice?
Somebody, when we were discussing the...
Isaac, please, I don't understand your question. Please come back again, okay?
Hello, sir.
So Isaac cited an instance as his office where he saw something that needed to change.
I said Isaac.
I heard it. That is why I'm giving you the question.
Okay, can I go on? Hello.
Yes, Isaac, please go on.
I'm saying that I'm referring to the organizational culture where some members will say, Before I came to Fuji College of Education, I was a staff of University College of Agri. So when I joined the Fuji College of Education, I was posted to the registry or the general office by then. And you could see the inscription at the doorstep, general office. So I found out that during break time, other members will come to the general office as the name was. Some will be eating, chatting. So I consulted the principal that because I was coming from a university, I wanted to change the name from the general office to registry. And he agreed. So I changed the name. The following morning when I came, I saw that the inscription had been removed and replaced with the general office. So I came inside and asked those I worked with. And what the answer they gave was that so no one is complaining. That you came just some ways you want to. It's like they saw me to be somebody who wanted to change things to favor, I don't know. And I'm saying that what I did, because the general office is general, the definition general. You can go there to rest. It's like ordinary office. So I want to know if what they were saying that had a with the other members of management also saying that being a middle level person, did I do right or did I do right in changing the inscription from general office to the registry? Because that was their practice.
The one who asked for, okay, wisdom. Go ahead.
Okay, Prof. So let me share my thoughts on this. I think this borders on change management. Okay. And Isaac, I wouldn't say you are right. I wouldn't say you are wrong. In that, usually when implementing change, like you said in your earlier submission, for sustainable, development, you need to train the people. So when you came in, you needed to first understand the culture, the processes, the systems, the people. before you know how to implement the changes that you are coming with, and then know how to manage that implementation. You would first need to train the people. You first need to help them to understand the rationale behind changing the name from general office to registry. And once they are able to take ownership of that initiative, they would even gladly put it there without you even making the move. So I think it was the process in which you initiated that move. That's what occasioned that reaction from them. But I don't think it's a wrong move. You just need to go back and then realign, the process again. Thank you.
Any other comment? The women wanted to massacre the question. So where are the women?
Prof, please, I think Wisdom has said it all, because what I was about to say was that whenever you want to implement a change, the people has to be involved. They should know, there should be a communication, the reason for the change, and then the importance of the change. So once the people come to know the reasons and then the benefits of it, like Wisdom rightly said, they will accept it in good faith, because people doesn't want change. Whenever there is a change, it's become something new, something that is fearful, and then some people will be like, it's not like that, it's not being done here, as he said in his comments. So after it was being removed, the step that he should have taken was to go to wherever he seek the permission from, explain to the one in charge, involve all the staff why you did that. And then I think when you explain to them and then they get to know, or they come to understand, then they will accept it. And when it's being put there as a registry office, I don't think people will just come in to eat, and then because they will give a respect to that office, because it's general, they feel everything can be done, anybody at all can come there. But once it's a registry with the name only, people will respect the office, and then some things may not be done. Thank you.
Okay, so the question was that they claiming I had a sign, I had a sow. What percent system review they don't agree to changes. Is it a good or bad culture? The responses that you people are giving has to do with how to overcome that resistance to change. But he's asking whether their resistance to change is good or bad culture. Who can respond to that?
Prof,
Prof,
I
I
would
would
say
say
that
it's a bad culture. Oh. Efia, please go ahead.
yes, I would say that it's a bad culture, because change is a part of us. And then if you want to grow as an individual or an organization, then you should be ready to accept change, because the business environment keeps transforming rapidly, and there is that need for change on a daily. As long as whatever change is being effected is not having a negative impact on the individual or the organization, then everybody else should be willing to embrace and support in effecting that change. So I would say it's a bad organizational culture to just uprightly say we are comfortable, this is how things are being done. How it is done, is it right? No. Why are we not changing it? Because we are comfortable, or because that is what we've met done? Then it means that we will not move forward as an organization or as an individual. So I would say it's a negative thing.
Okay. Any other comment on that question?
Sir, please, I also say that it's a bad culture. As we all know, culture is dynamic. It changes. So if there is something that is being done at an organization that doesn't enhance, or like it doesn't bring it doesn't enhance, or it doesn't enhance performance, or like it doesn't make the organizational growth. The fact that it is done this way shouldn't be accepted or shouldn't be left aloof and say that once we are growing and culture is dynamic, when change comes, you need to also adapt to it. Thank you.
Okay. Is there any comment on it again before we move on? So, yes, that is their culture, but there are so many cultural practices that can be said to be bad. So it's not every culture that is good. Once it is their way of life, doesn't necessarily mean it's good. That is why we have outmoded and harmful cultures like female genital mutilation and all that kind of things. Even though it is some people's culture, we are saying they are harmful and therefore they are bad cultural practices. So depending on what it is and what can be done about it, that is how colleagues were prescribing how to go about effecting the changes. Because once we are saying it is a culture, and once we are saying culture is a way of life of people, it follows that you can't change culture overnight. It has to be very systematic. It involves behavior change and all that gradually. All right. So now, we are saying organizational culture is formed from beliefs and behaviors and values of the employees in the organization. And these practices are embodied in the structures, processes, and strategies of the organization. So when you go to a place, even how to effect a change, as we were discussing, it's a process. So people or some organizations have their own cultural processes for effecting a change. So once you didn't even go through their way of effecting a change, they will resist it, however good the change is. So this is why we have to be mindful of organizational culture. And remember that we are dealing with sustainability, which is introduction of new strategies into organizational strategies. And HR championing these kind of changes. So we need to champion how to mainstream these kind of sustainability changes in the structures, processes, and strategies of the organization. And by so doing, we might have to learn how to gradually effect and effectively effect these changes in those structures, processes, and strategies of the organization. Otherwise, we are likely to confront resistance to change, and we will have to know how to deal with any possible or anticipated resistance to change. Okay. So, in terms of organizations, their cultural elements cut across stories behind the organization, symbols, power structures, organizational structures, control systems, rituals, and routines. So these are elements that embody the organizational culture. So when we are referring to an organization's culture, it cuts across these elements. So when we talk about stories, some organizations have certain stories behind their formation. Can someone give one example of an organization, institution, or a company that has certain story behind it, which is significant? And that story informs the way things are done in that organization. So if you want to understand why that organization does things the way it does, then you have to understand the story behind that organization. Any example of that? Are we there? Are we gone?
Prof, we are here.
Yes. Any example? What if you are working in your own company? What is the any story behind your company that informs the way things are done in the organization? Okay, are they Christians here?
Yes, Prof.
Okay.
Yes, Prof.
He who denies me before men, I will deny them before my Father. So if you don't show up, I'll call your church elders right now to join the class that you are hiding. Okay, so can you look at your own church and see some of the things that you do in terms of your doctrines, in terms of the way your worship is conducted? That is your service, how the service is conducted, in terms of your hymns, in terms of your certain rituals, certain practices, and look at how that church was founded. Was there any story behind that church? Yes, this one there. If you can't talk about your company, talk about your church. Otherwise, let me take the heaven book here and mark. If you don't know the story behind your church, I just cross your name from the church and send to Jesus Christ right now.
Okay, Prof, please.
Heaven, it will be a person who. Okay.
Okay, Prof. I'll use Church of Christ as an example.
Very good.
It is believed that the church was established by Jesus Christ himself because there was a prophecy about the church, and then it is also being said that it's Christ bought the church with his own blood, and then there are some things that is being practiced in the church, that is using of hymns without clapping their hands or using instruments. It's believed that it is being instructed by God, by Christ himself, to sing in our hearts with melody, but not the use of instruments. And then their way of worship is also established by Christ himself. So they believe that everything that they are following is based on Christ says and not what people or human have said. So that is why the name the Christ Church of Christ, that is the churches of Christ that was being established. All churches established by Christ himself gathered together as the Church of Christ. Thank you.
It's a very good example to know why Church of Christ does certain things that they do. So if you don't know the story behind it, you might not understand their culture of worship. So you need to understand the story behind the foundation of Church of Christ to really understand their practices. Very good. Any other? One more. What are they?
Well, we are here, but me too. I'm a Church of Christ member, so Alice has
Okay.
said
So
it.
you like somebody from another church?
No, I like somebody from my church. Yes, Prof.
Okay. Who is that person?
Well, I'll tell you in person. Prof, you don't know the person, no?
Prof, please, it is Ayuba.
Hey! Yeah?
Ayuba is a Muslim, not a Christian. Please allow the class to go on.
Can someone give another example? Either from a company or a church.
Hello, sir.
Hello, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
You are not talking. Can I go on? Hello.
Hello.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. Why is there echo on this? What's happening? Try and let's see.
Hello, sir.
Hello, sir.
Omo, please mute yourself.
Please mute yourself, okay?
Yeah, I want to speak. Hello.
Yeah, can I go on?
Yeah, can I go on? Go on, let's see.
Yeah, I'm talking about the producer of this vehicle known as Hyundai, or some time they call the Hyundai, Hyundai. This person, the manufacturer or the founder, was from a very, very poor home. And this person started working with companies and other places so many times. And though he was not well educated, he never lost hope. He continued working to survive. Despite limited education and financial difficulty, he had a strong entrepreneurial ambition. So sometimes reportedly attempted different times to leave home to search for a better job. So without abandoning his mission or vision, he's able to come out with a vehicle produced by his own company. So the story behind this is the perseverance and maybe self-made success or believing in yourself. So that's my contribution.
Okay. All right. So symbols. Can anyone give one example of a symbol of a company or institution or an enterprise? Symbol. Something that symbolizes the company.
Hello, sir.
Yes.
Please, you mean the brand symbol or what? The brand symbol of a product or what? Like
the symbol has to do with the logo.
Then I would say star
The
for
slogan, the logo, the slogan, the jingles, something that the trademark, something that symbolizes. When you see this logo, you know it's this company. When you see this jingle playing, you know that it is this company. When you see this kind of slogan, then you know it is this company. Something that symbolizes somebody's or the company or an institution. Go ahead.
Then I will say the star symbol
Okay.
of Kristo Asafo Company.
Okay. Any other?
Please, I'd like to ask Isaac what the what does it mean? If briefly tell us.
Come again.
Hello.
I wanted to ask Isaac, Mr. Isaac, I wanted to ask the star of Kristo Asafo. What does it mean? Briefly, please.
It means the star of Africa, particularly Ghana. The strength or the can-do spirit of a black man. That's that.
All right.
Isaac,
Okay.
please,
Okay, thank you.
are you a member of the Kristo Asafo?
No, please, I'm not a member. But I believe in their dealings. I'm in line with them.
Hello, Prof.
Yes.
Please, I've also someone just told me a story about Coca-Cola.
Okay.
And then he said that the story of Coca-Cola began by a pharmacist named John Pemberton. He created a syrup using Coca-Cola leaves and then cola nuts. Initially, it was just for serves as a medicine, as a temperament drinks, and then to also cure some illness. But due to the tastes of the coca leaves and then the cola nuts, then it became a drinks that was everyone likes, because the drinks was first sold at Jacob's Pharmacy in Atlanta and then Georgia in somewhere 1986. And then now Coca-Cola is everywhere, which is being served as a soft drink. But the origin of it was just to serve as a herbal drink to cure ailments.
Okay. Okay. Is there any example anyone wants to give again? Okay, let's go to power structures. In some companies, the power structure is flat. In some companies, it's horizontal. Some it is vertical. If you go to certain company, you can have direct access to the top management people. In some companies, you hardly have access. You have to go through bureaucratic structures. You can only relate to managers in your department or in your level, other than going straight to the director, managing director. So what are some of the examples that you can give about power structures in certain companies or organizations that you are familiar with?
Doc, I'll go for MTN. MTN uses a hybrid structure such that they have both the horizontal structure and then the vertical structure, such that the flat structure helps, the subordinates to actually communicate freely with their line managers and also share ideas such that it improves creativity and innovation. And they also have the tall structure such that, before you move on to the next stage, you need to go through some level of authorization, before you are able to get to the top. So they have a blend of both the tall structure and then the flat structure, which is the hybrid.
Okay. Any other example?
Hello, Prof.
Yes, please.
So I would go for the Ghana Police Service.
Okay.
Now, it has a vertical power structure. So information comes from the top to the down. You cannot bypass in any way. It is always coming from the top. And so if you want to channel consent to, it has to follow through from the least through the ranks till it gets to the top. You can't bypass any stage.
Okay. All right. So let's move on to organizational structures. Certain organizational structures are organized as divisions, some as branches, some across geographical locations. So for instance, if you go to banks, I think the managers are mostly according to branch, if I'm right. So every branch must have a manager, sort of. And in some organizations, their branch managers report to their line managers in the head office. So for instance, if someone is operational manager, he or she reports to the operational manager at the head office, not the branch manager. Things like that. So can anybody give example for us to really understand how some organizational structure of a particular organization is modeled? Any example of that? Yes. Are we there? Can you use your own company for as an example? How is the structures? How is the company organized? Is it organized according to activities? Is it organized according to departments? Is it organized according to geographical locations? Is it organized according to maybe customer base or the value chain models or what? Any idea?
Okay, so Doug,
Yes, Mama.
so with my company, it is an institution on its own with 15 agencies under it. But with the institution itself, it is organized or it is controlled by directorates, which we have about 10 directorates. So under each directorate, there is an agency, right, which also controls all the activity which goes on in the institution. No, please, I'm coming in.
Okay. Any other?
Yes, Doc. So I'll give an example from my organization. It's a law firm, and one would think that a law firm should have a very mechanistic organizational structure, but we have an organic structure in that there is a lot of decentralization in there. So power is not vested in the managing partner, who is the overall boss, but he has sort of given certain powers to people, at the lower level to undertake certain tasks with full autonomy. And then responsibility is also shared such that we have teams, and then the head of the teams are sort of the heads, and they have the power to make decisions based on the policies that we have. So everything is not vested in the overall boss, but people have the opportunity to make decisions on their own for the equal good of the company. Thank you.
Okay.
Okay, so
Yes.
okay, so Doc, so with my each of the agencies has an overall boss too, which also control the affair of the company, right? But all of them reports under the main motherboard, or like the mother company. So each of the agency has its own power. It doesn't matter they reporting directly to my institution. They have the power to do whatever they want to do. But at the end of the day, they have to report direct into my institution. So that is how it is.
Okay. Control systems. Any example of control systems in any organization you are familiar with? Yes.
Hello, sir.
Yes, sir.
I will say that I'm taking my institution as an example. One of the control system we have here is the audits or the internal auditor. So by this, I mean, when every request in the area of spending is sent to the principal and the principal approve it, it goes to the internal audit. So he decides whether the budget or the cost of the item one want to buy is within the budgeted allocation or not. If it's within, then he also approve it. If it is outside the allocated budget, then that request will be refused to enable you to go and redo or prepare another one to fall within the budget's allocation. That is that.
Okay.
Okay, sir, please, I also want to add up. Okay. I also use my institution for instance. Mine is a group of companies. So I'll touch on procurement aspects before the year begins. So our procurement system is such a way that it is being centralized. So at beginning of the year, they request for our budget and our purchase request. If whatever you want to buy is not within that particular budget and you want to procure, the procurement needs to go through the centralized procurement, which is not, even though we have an internal procurement unit that are in charge of our procuring system, before we can procure, one, it has to be within the budget. And then two, we just don't get up and buy. You need to liaise with a centralized procurement for them to do all the soliciting and everything from supplier before you can buy. Whatever thing you are buying, if it doesn't go through centralized procurement, it will be denied. And you'll be held liable to whatever thing that you have done because you didn't go according to, but you've gone contrary to the control systems within the organization. So that is what we do when it comes to procurement. Thank you.
Thank you too.
Okay, Prof, with the tertiary institutions like GCTU, some of the control system is the accreditation and then the quality assurance, because they are in charge of they are in charge to make sure that the institution meets their quality standards. And then with the governance structure, we have the board, the council chair, management teams to make strategic decisions for the institutions. And then we have the financial management aspect of it, who controls the affairs of the organization, and then the auditors, and then under it we have the procurement officers, and then we have the student affairs. The student affairs is also another control system in the tertiary, because they manage the students' conduct and then the welfare, the grievances of the students when they have issues. So they represent the students. And then we have the human resource management in charge of staffing, like appraiser, recruitment, and any other things when it comes to HR responsibility. And then we have the ITSS, that's the information management, and then they also are in charge of the students' records, academic transcripts, and then other stuff when it comes to students and staff records. Thank you.
Okay, so let's look at rituals and routines. Rituals are certain ceremonies, functions, events that are statutory performed by that company, institution, or organizations. It is a symbolic event or practices that are never missed out. It is obligatory to have those functions or those events. So they become rituals and routines of that institution or company. Any example?
So yes, please, at my end.
So say,
So at my end, we have staff there every quarterly of the, like within the year. So before the year goes to an end, we have 4 staff there. And after, if any of the agencies has a program of end of year party, they try to invite all the agencies under my institution to join. That is a must.
Yes, who wanted to come in?
okay, so it's
Prof, so
Miriam. I will touch.
For GCTU, we have graduation, which is mandatory, that's at the end of every course, being it degree, diploma, or master's, the students has to graduate, and then it's a mandatory that everyone is being involved. It's a ceremony that involves both students and then staff, including deans, professors, and then VCs. And then we have the matriculation and matriculations, that's every fresher that is being enrolled. It is a mandatory that they go through the process.
Okay. Yeah, typical rituals. So all these elements in terms of stories, symbols, power structures, organizational structures, control systems, and rituals and routines, they embody the culture of the organization. So if you want to identify what constitutes the cultural elements of an organization, you need to analyze the issues around these 6 elements to be able to come up with a paradigm of the organizational culture. All right. Now, we are saying that, what is the time? It's 4:23. When is your break time?
I think the break is past too.
Okay, so 4:23. When we break now, when are we resuming?
Well,
So the
we've
break is
used our
past.
break time mode.
Pardon me.
We've used the break time.
So
We'll just continue and finish.
Let's continue and
finish.
then yes,
Okay, all
please.
right. Okay, that is fine. So now, realizing that organizations focus on social and environmental impacts, as well as the economic gains for a long-term sustainability, then it becomes essential for organizations to use sustainability as competitive advantage. So now, organizations practicing sustainability now have competitive advantage over those that are not practicing the same. People now are looking for even products that are green products, that are environmentally friendly, that are healthy, that have less negative impacts on the health and all that contribute to the well-being and welfare of people. People want to associate with companies that have the welfare of the people in mind, that have corporate social responsibility for the environment and the people that they work around. So all these things form basis for competitive advantage for firms. So now organizations, in order to achieve competitive advantage through environmental sustainability, are enjoined to bring about cultural transformation. Because if your cultural elements do not support the sustainability issues, then it will be difficult, like we discussed earlier, to achieve support and cooperation in your sustainability strategies. So it behooves the organization to build a culture that supports sustainability strategies. Otherwise, you are likely to face resistance to change, not by employees alone, but by all other stakeholders, including your shareholders and your regulators and all that. So, because of that, organizations really seek to institutionalize and incorporate environmental focus sustainability issues by making their cultural elements green. So those cultural elements that form the paradigm of the organization, we have to embed sustainability issues in them. The same way that HR embed or mainstream sustainability strategies into their core functions, then we also need to mainstream sustainability issues in the cultural elements. So the way we do things in the organization must incorporate sustainability issues. So companies need official sustainability program that will guide green teams and enable employees to implement the green initiatives that best suit their businesses. Therefore, they need sustainability strategy that is aligned with the company's vision, mission, and values. So that once they have sustainability strategy that is in alignment with the company's own strategy, then it will be easier to implement the sustainability plans, because by implementing the company strategies, we are invariably also implementing the sustainability plans. So best practices for developing organizational culture or organizational values. We are advised that we can create a group or a team within the company or the organization that focus on sustainability. And we can do so during hiring and performance appraisals. So when we are recruiting, we can recruit sustainability-minded people. And during performance appraisals, we can identify people who are progressive and inclined towards sustainability. And we can use them to form sustainability champion teams who will champion the cause of sustainability in the company. We also can make environmental sustainability conscious internally and externally. So in all activities that we perform in the organization, that has to do with environmental issues. We can make them interesting and we can make them very participating so that employees can enjoy participating in those activities. We need to get employees involved in local community services and volunteerism, thereby offering corporate social responsibility by the employees. We must get our employees involved in charities by donating their time and money so that the company will see that as part of their CSR towards the society. We can also make sustainability part of our DEBAs, staff DEBAs. When we are having staff DEBAs and meetings, we can include sustainability as part of those discussions, where when we are making the states of the company addresses, we will include situation of sustainability issues in the address. And when we are making plans, annual plans for the company, we can also include sustainability plans in the annual planning. Why is it necessary to have a green organizational culture? One, it can help with hiring. People who are sustainability inclined will prefer to work in companies that are sustainable. Therefore, if your company is repeatable for sustainability, the tendency for you to attract very good talents or employees is high. Building green organizational culture also helps improve morale and productivity. So it can also get employees to be loyal and active within both the organization and the community in which they work. It drives community initiatives by employees. So employees are inclined to participate in communal activities as part of their pro-socialism or their contribution to the communities and societies. It also encourages giving back to charities and the community. For people who develop the habit of donations, philanthropy, where the communities will benefit from employees giving back to the community. It also enhances the reputation of the company because, as I said earlier, companies with sustainability visibility have high reputation. People respect companies that their activities and practices ensure positive environmental impacts. It ensures the welfare and well-being of people. It also sustains economic gains for the company. So it gains reputation and pride. What are some of the steps that can be used to develop green culture in organizations? The first step has to do with including the sustainability plans in the missions, values, objectives, and strategies of the organization. Most companies have handbooks for employees. Sustainability issues must be included in those employee handbooks. We must build green employee teams as champions of change, champions of sustainability. So those teams will be at the forefront for championing the cause of sustainability in the company. We need to make sure that we educate and develop our employees on sustainability and the company goals so that they can align the two. They will not be skewed towards only organizational goals at the expense of sustainability matters. We need to invite observations and suggestions from our employees to contribute to how to make sustainability plans successful in the company. There must be consistent sensitization programs to update our employees on what is happening and our efforts on sustainability and the strides we are making on sustainability in the company. We need to make efforts to participate in local initiatives, because that is the sure way of giving back to our communities and the society. Last but not the least, we must communicate our achievements. So in our annual reports, in our quarterly reports, in our news flashes, we need to update the community about what we are doing on sustainability and our achievements from time to time. You are going to read about the role that HRM can play in promoting green behaviors, because we are saying that we need to build green organizational culture. And we have understood what organizational culture is as far as the elements that constitutes the paradigm of organizational culture. Therefore, in order to make organizational culture green, we need to mainstream sustainability in those organizational cultural elements. In mainstreaming sustainability in the organizational cultural elements, what role can HR play in promoting the mainstreaming and the implementation of green into the organizational cultural elements? Any question, comments, or contributions as far as what constitutes organizational culture is? And therefore, what might green organizational culture be? And the steps to build green organizational culture. And organizations that have cultivated green culture, what benefits do they derive from the same? Any question, comments, or contributions? That's fine. Yes. Are we there?
Yes, Prof.
Any question, comments, or contribution? Okay. Are we able to take one more topic? What's the time? 4:39. Can we take one more topic?
Yes, Prof.
Okay.
Alice, I thought it's time or
No.
If we are tired, I'm at your service. If you have energy, I'm at your service. What is the consensus?
We can do another topic.
Prof, we can do another topic.
Okay. 5 minutes stretch up. Then we can continue. 5 minutes stretch up. Let's look at, you remember last week somebody asked a question, I said we should wait. I guess it has to do something with the technological issues, if my memory serves me right. So let's look at green disruptions and sustainable business models. Green disruptions and sustainable business models. When we say a business model, any idea? Model. When we say model, generally model, what is a model?
No problem.
Yes.
So, Prof, when we say a model, it could be something that shows how something works or represent something like what something looks like. Maybe I don't know if I can cite an example like when you're building, is it the plan of the house? Maybe at the end of the day, that's how I want the house to look like, or even a model who showcases a fashion designer's clothes.
Okay. Any other comments? Model. When we say a model. Model.
Prof, hello. Hello,
Yes.
Prof.
Yes.
Yeah, so I would say a model is a plan or system that is
Okay.
used to create value or
Okay.
deliver products or services to customers.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah. Okay.
Any other contribution? We are going to a model show. I'm going to a seamstress to show her a model for my dress. What is a model?
So can it be a sample?
Example. Yes.
No, a sample.
Sample.
Yes,
Yeah.
please.
Any other?
Okay, Prof. So
Pattern.
Pattern.
Yeah.
Yes. Any other?
we can say an idea that
Idea.
Prof, design.
Design. Okay. So pattern, design, fashion, sample. So a business model is a sample of how a business creates, delivers, and make value. So how does the business create value for its customers? After creating the value, how does it deliver it? After delivering it, how does it gain from the value that it has created in terms of profit? So a simple refers to the plan for making profit by the business. How does a business make a plan? Businesses usually make a plan to create value. And after creating value, then to deliver the value. After delivering the value, they expect to gain or make profit from their operations. When we say a business creates value, delivers value, and captures value, what do we understand by value? Any idea? Value. When we say value, what does that mean?
So, Prof,
So,
value
so
is
something important, like useful.
Okay, usefulness, important, yes,
something worthy.
wealthy,
Yes, sir.
yes, any other?
Benefits.
Benefits.
Something you cherish or like.
Cherish. Okay.
Something unique.
Something
Unique.
unique. Okay.
Hello, sir.
Yes, sir.
Value in a product or service is what the user can gain satisfaction from by
Very
using.
good. That is what I've been looking for, satisfaction. Because it is when you are satisfied with something that you can say that that thing is valuable to you, or that thing is unique to you, or that thing is beneficial to you, or that thing is wealthy for you. So when you are satisfied, so creating value for customers means satisfying the needs of customers. So a business model simple describes how a company satisfy its customers for a profit. So it identifies the product and services that that business plans to sell and the target customers, as well as any anticipated expenses that the business will incur in operating the business. This model will help the company attract investment and to recruit employees that are highly valuable to the company. And it will motivate management and staff because of the value or profit it will gain. So, every company has its way of satisfying its customer depending on the business it's dealing in and the customers it is trying to satisfy. So the model will help investors to evaluate companies that interest them so that they can invest in them. It also helps employees to understand where the company is going so that they can decide to join the company's journey. It follows that businesses must regularly update their model so that they can stay current because the business environment keeps changing in terms of customers' needs and preferences. It keeps changing. Businesses must also keep changing their business model to meet the changing times. So it has to make sure that it readjusts, it adapts its model to meet the changing times. So a business model covers 4 main areas. 1, customer. 2, the offer. 3, the infrastructure. 4, financial viability. So the first one has to do with the market. What is the market for your business? As to who may need your business and who will get satisfied by what you intend to offer. Then the offer is the product or the service that you want to offer to satisfy the customer's needs. What do you have to be able to do the business that you are planning to do? Infrastructure, that is capacity. The capacity to deliver the value. You don't just create value, but you must deliver them to satisfy the customer. Do you have what it takes? Do you have the means to deliver the value to the customer? And last but not the least, you don't offer product or service to satisfy customers' needs through your means just by satisfying sake, but you must also make sure that you gain financially from doing the business. So these are the 4 main areas covered by a business model. Any questions about the model, business model, as far as the 4 main dimensions of a business model are concerned?
Sir, please, I didn't get the financial viability well. Can you please come again with that?
Come again.
Please, I was saying that can you please kindly take the financial viability again? I didn't really get
The
that.
profitability of the business.
Oh, okay. Okay, thank you.
Any other question or comment?
No, Prof.
Yes, sir. Okay. Disruptions. When we say disruptions, any idea? Disruptions. Culture is yes, our. What about disruptions?
Prof, disruptions will be interferences or any form of encumbrances to a particular course of action.
Okay. Any other?
Prof, I would say there are challenges, unexpected occurrences that you come across that may interfere, like Wisdom said.
Okay.
Sir, please, the hindrances or the barriers that comes when.
Yes.
Hello?
Yes, ma'am.
Please, I'm saying that the hindrances or the barriers.
Okay, the barriers or hindrances. Okay.
Prof, there can be major changes that replaces the normal way things are being done.
Major changes in processes and other dynamics. Okay.
Okay, so Prof,
Yes.
with like what you are talking about, I had your son at CN.
Uh-huh.
I want to ask Isaac that what were the challenges he had with I had your son at CN when he went to that college school of blah blah blah.
So that he can relate it to disruptions, isn't it?
Yes, please.
Ike Wahenfa, where is he?
Ike Shao. Okay. Hello. Okay. She was saying that what was the challenges or what that incident brought or what. Hello.
We are listening, please.
Yeah. No, I couldn't get the question well, so maybe.
Who asked the question? Repeat it for him.
Dog. I was like, wait, I had your son at Siena. I wanted to ask him that what was the challenges he faced with
Okay.
yeah.
Hello. Yeah, because hello. Hello.
Isaac, talk. I'm listening to you.
Yeah. Because of what or how they were using the so-called general office. Sometimes we see people coming here eating, discussing political issues that interrupt the smooth operations at the registry, or the so-called. Sometimes the visitors will be coming in seeking to see one of the management members. When they come and meet such practice here, they also carry negative perception about the college. So that was also part of the interruption we were facing. You'll be preparing minutes for a meeting, and these people will be talking and chatting on arguing unnecessarily. So that was also distraction. That was disrupting smooth performance of operation at the registry. I'm done.
Okay. Yes, any other comment? Disruptions. Changes in the way we do things. Yes, same. What is that? Yes, same. Or same marketing. That is disruptive market. Causing major changes in the market. All right. So, disruption are simply interruption in event, activity, or process. It's a radical change to an existing industry or market due to technological innovation. Example, Netflix and streaming videos. Now, entertainment industry, where first we used to go and line up at cinema halls far from your home. Now you can be on your bed and enjoying the entertainment that you want. So it's a disrupting. Now, if you go and build a cinema center, it will be difficult for you to get people traveling to that place, coming to queue, watch, and go. So a sustainable business model is a company's plan for making a profit sustainably. We are saying that a business model is how a company plans to make a profit. Therefore, a sustainable business is how a company plans to make profit, whilst at the same time protecting people and environment. Because we are green HR focused, we want to ensure that businesses do not only concentrate on making profit, but they must ensure that whilst making profit, they must also protect people and the environment without taking advantage of people and the environment to make profit. So that is sustainable business models. Those models identify the product or services that the business sells, the target market, that is the customers, and the anticipated costs of running the business, as well as the supply and distribution chain in terms of getting the raw materials for the business and getting the finished products to the customers. So now, let's look at how disruptive technologies and innovation can affect green human resource practices. Can we think for 2 minutes and let's share ideas? How can disruptive technologies, we have given an example of Netflix and other streaming videos that are changing our entertainment avenues. So how can such technologies and innovations affect how HR performs its functions sustainably, or it functions by mainstreaming sustainability in those practices? 2 minutes thinking, and then we discuss.
Prof.
Yes.
So, Prof, I would say that.
I'm saying 2 minutes thinking and discussion.
Okay, sir.
when I say 2 minutes, I'm also part of the class, so I also need the 2 minutes. Or you don't think so? So let's think
You
about
are.
10 minutes.
You are part of the class.
Then we will discuss. Are we done with the thinking? Is Ike still thinking? Okay, yes, let's share ideas. How do we think disruptive technologies and innovations affect green human resource practices?
Hello, Prof. Please, is
Yes,
it
ma'am.
negative positively or both?
Everything. It can be negative, it can be positive.
Thank you, Prof.
Wow.
Yes.
So I would say that usually these technologies and innovations most of the times help automate processes. And when that happens, it helps to improve data accuracy and then foster a culture of sustainability because we are dealing with facts and not intuition, sir.
Okay. Yes, any other?
Prof, it also changes the work processes. Thus, first, if we were to deal with the HR operations, first it was based on paperless, like it was based on paper. Everything documented was on paper, but with this disruptive or with these changes, it's now digitalized because of the cloud-based HR software, and then this has come to replace the paper work that was being done. So in a way, it's saving costs, and then it's also taking the paperwork away. That is, it's reduced paperwork.
Okay.
Because of the use of digitalization or e-documentation.
Okay. Any other ideas? More. Think.
So, Rob, I want to touch on the negative impact.
Go ahead.
Much as it is argued that, disruptive technologies sort of enhance green HR, making it more sustainable. We also look at the other side of the coin, where in adopting all these AI models and technological tools to, propagate this green HRM, you'd realize that all these are energy engineered in a sense that you would need power to get these tools or systems running. And if that happens, then there is a high demand on power emission, and that is cost in essence. So I would say that it is expensive, or it has a high financial burden on the institution.
Okay. Yes, any other?
Hello, sir.
Yeah.
Hello, sir.
Yes, sir.
I'm not getting the question well because, to my understanding, let's say we have two companies. One was producing CD, the compact disc. This company operated for 4 years, and another company came and produced pen drive. So, because this new company is producing pen drive, the other company who was producing CD is facing challenges or is collapsing. So, to this company, it is disrupting its investment, but the other company, it is a innovation to him, or because we are saying disruptive technologies. So to the company who is not matching up with technologies sees this as a disruptive, but other one who is taking advantage of the innovations will not see the changes as disruptive, or I don't know if I'm right.
Who can help?
So, Isaac, the disruption, as indicated earlier, is a radical change.
Hello.
Yes, please go ahead, Isaac.
Because we said disruptive or disruption refers to impediment, bars, and challenges. So I'm thinking in the line of these interpretations.
Okay. So let me add the other interpretation of disruption. It says that radical change to an existing industry or market due to technological innovation. Okay, so that's another definition. So judging from this definition, you would realize that there has been a radical change, okay, which has negatively impacted the company that is producing the CDs. Okay, so for them, it is a negative impact.
Yes.
Okay. Now, for the person who is producing pen drive, it is an opportunity for him because he has got the technology to produce the pen drive, which has the same functions as the compact disc would have.
Yeah.
So it is a negative and positive. So the person who is not applying the disruptive technology, it's called disruptive technology because it comes to phase out the old ideas or old system or technology. That's why it is called disruptive. It is radical. You understand me?
Okay.
So don't get it twisted.
I like the idea of phasing out the old ways of doing things, the traditional ways of doing things. Yes. This comes to phase it out due to technological advancement and innovation. Okay. Yes. Any other ideas?
Hello, Prof.
Yes.
Please, reduction in carbon footprints. That's training and interviewing, video conferencing and virtual reality. Training simultaneously remove the need for candidates and employees to travel for interviews or corporate training sessions, heavily cutting down on transport emissions. Thank you.
Yeah, please. I also want to add some to it. So it has promoted green HR in such a way that, like Alice said, the paperless system and energy saving by implementing digital HR system for efficiency.
Come again.
I'm saying that it has promoted green HRM, which is the paperless system and energy saving by implementing digital HR systems. That's the HR efficiency.
Okay. Okay. All right. Yes. Any other?
Prof, I would also talk about the negative again.
Okay.
As much as we see these technologies enhancing productivity, I would also say that because these are technologies, it poses what we call techno stress. If, for instance, we are having these virtual lectures from morning till evening, it puts a lot of stress on us physically, which in the long run may have a medical implication. So that may be a negative, because while you're looking at the benefits, that it's cutting out the physical presence, the time, the travel time, and all of that, sitting at one place on a computer from morning to evening, I mean, accumulating over a long period of time has a medical effect on you. So that's a negative. Thank you.
Good. Any other comment? Okay. So in terms of sustainable development, goals for ecology. Sustainable development goals for ecology. So sustainable development goal, as we were discussing earlier, goal 15 talks about environmental conservations. That has to do with protecting, restoring, and promoting sustainable use of environmental ecosystems and sustainably managing forests, combat desertifications, and stop and reverse land degradation so as to halt biodiversity loss. So the goal 15 that someone share with us talks about environmental conservation and protection. And that must also inform how HR or green HR can help contribute to that ecological protection. So now we go home, we are going to study how some organizations are having sustainable business models, whereby sustainable business model means what? Who can refresh us? When we say sustainable development business models, who can help us? We just discussed it a few minutes ago.
You said it is how companies plan to make profits while protecting the people and the environment.
Very good. So let's look at how some companies have sustainable business models, in that how their business models is helping them make profit, at the same time protecting people and the environment. I've given examples of companies that we can study them to see how their business models are sustainable, in that how their business models are making profit and at the same time protecting the people and the environment. So we will share them next week when we meet. Then we need to also research or study about the link between HRM and ecological goods. How or what role does human resource management play in promoting the ecology, that is the environment? Because we are talking about ecological conservation. How does HRM come in? Well, we are talking about environmental protection. And HR is about human beings. So how does HR comes in when we are talking about environmental protection? So let's research about the interface between HRM and ecological growth. And we'll also discuss it when we meet next week. So any comment, question, or contribution as far as green disruptions and sustainable business models are concerned? Are we fine? Are we
Yes,
good?
Prof.
Okay.
Yes, please.
Any takeaways for the day? What are we taking away for the day? Yes.
Yes, sir. What I'm taking at this latter part is that disruptions can impact businesses both negatively and positively. I mean, the introduction of technology in some cases may elevate the value or the products of a company, whereas on the other side too, it can actually affect it negatively by bringing down the value of the products of the company. Thank you.
Okay. Any other? Yes.
Okay, Prof. What I'm also taking home is what culture is, and then what's organizational culture itself, it's the structures when it comes, and then I've learned that we have the power structure, and then we have the control system, and then we have the rituals, that is the activities that goes on, and then the control systems also talks about the departments in an organization. And then I also got to know about what business model is, and then the four aspects, which is the customer, and then the offer, infrastructure, and that of the financial availability, and then what's how companies do have sustainable business, and then the impacts on it to an organization, and then the environment. That
Okay.
is the little I also have to take home.
Okay. Any other?
But I also learned that while the organization's culture is negative, we shouldn't go with the norm that this is what is being done. And so therefore, there is no need for a change. But then we should strive to bring about change. If not, like there will still be some cultures like the FGM, female genital mutilation, still being practiced. We realize that some of these things are negative, and therefore we should focus on the positive culture that is going to help grow the organization as well as the individuals, which is going to help sustain it, rather than sit and say that that is what is being practiced, so we go by it.
Any other?
Hello, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, I want to relate what we learned to that of military setup, because they also they have HR, they also employ personnel. And the military is there, military is there to protect the country from any external aggression. Doing this, they go to war, they throw bombs, they shoot. For example, Iran and Israel, they'll be throwing bombs here and there. Do they also have to think about the environment? Or for them, the environment is nothing, because they also pollute the environment a lot. Or they are exempted from this.
Okay.
Hello.
They are not.
Okay.
They are never.
Yeah.
Yeah. So these are some of the issues that needs to be identified, and then education go there as well. So those who are managing them as HRs must also have green orientation, and thereby also begins to train and develop their members on the green practices.
Thank you, sir.
Prof,
Yes.
please, with what you just said, please, I want to ask a question. Would it work when it comes to that? They practicing the green HR. Would it work? Because from what Mr. Isaac was saying, when it comes to war, two different groups are, fighting out of anger, out of emotions. So they don't have that kind of control, or let me say that they don't have the control, and then at that time their mind is not on the environment and the havoc it will cause people. So would it work with them practicing the green HR, especially in the aspect of conflicts?
I
come in to answer.
Okay. Yes, who wants to contribute?
So, yes, Alice, it's have regulations when it comes to war. Okay, there are a lot of terms, but I will not use them. But we have rules that govern war. We have rules that govern the engagement of war. So first of all, the rules you have to know before you engage in war, and then the rules you engage in during war. As what you were saying, nuclear weapons. UN has sanctioned the use of chemical ammunitions. So the atomic bomb, after it was released, UN has banned that type of bomb. It should never ever be used by any country again. That is how come US went to war with in those times, claiming that he had those kind of nuclear weapons, and they stood on that, whether that's the issue. But they actually stood on that to go to work with Iraq on those days. So there are sanctions coming from international bodies like the UN and others that sanction war. Certain war practices that have impact on the environment specifically. We don't attack water bodies. For instance, you are invading a country. You don't pollute the waters. You don't throw bombs into the waters. Secondly, you don't even attack children and how do we call it, women. Another one is that you don't even attack marketplaces, churches, social gatherings and all that. So yes, it is. There are rules that govern even war that will that there are sanctions if you flout them. They are a form of green sustainable issues. Yes.
Okay. Any other takeaways?
Thank you.
Okay, Prof. I just want to add to what Anakwa has just highlighted. If you look at SDG 14, it talks about life below water. That has to do with the sea and the water bodies, as the question someone asked initially. And coming to that of Alice concerning war, SDG 16 also talks about peace, justice, and strong institutions. And these are highlights from the SDG goals that, talks about peaceful coexistence such that the fight of the two elephants does not affect the ground or the grass, which is the environment. So yes, there are laws, there are policies, there are conventions that regulate all of that to ensure that the environment is protected. Thank you.
Okay. Yes. Any other takeaways? Are we there?
Yes, Prof.
Yes, sir.
Yes, Prof.
Takeaways for the day.
That's it, yeah.
Takeaways. Otherwise, we sit here till Wednesday. But the rest of the time belongs to me, so I can still decide to use it. So if you don't talk, then I'm waiting for you.
Sir, please, I think it's time.
So
my time is what? I'm closing at 6:30. Oh.
No, we didn't go for break.
Prof, we
But
took our break.
you decided to skip your break.
Yeah, we
No.
all took our break. We all close.
Hold on.
Hello, sir.
Stop the one. How
Hello, sir.
much time is the break? Is it not 30 minutes? Did that it from it?
Hello, sir.
Yes.
So you said we should research about the link between human resource and ecological goals. So I think this will be the takeaway. We are taking this. No, we are taking this.
On the way.
Sir, okay. Prof, I agree with Isaac. That is our takeaway.
That's your takeaway.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So what I will do is that I'll make sure I'll populate the LMS with the other slides. And then Alice, is it Alice who has been communicating with me?
Yes.
Make sure you share your email address so that I can also share the slides with you so that those who cannot still access the LMS at least can have them. Yes. And then you must read and also read other journal articles around the topics so that when we meet, it will be all discussions. Would that be fine?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Hey, Isaac, you're very handsome.
Hello.
Not yet.
Yolanda, let us close in peace. Why? Yolanda, please, let us close in peace.
All right. So enjoy the rest of your evening. See you same time next week. But Alice, don't forget. And share your email address with me so that I can share the slides with you to share them. Okay. Bye for now.
Bye, sir. Bye, Prof.
Alice.
Yes.
Hey, you there?
I do. You don't look for me. I do, pa.
Oh, I will look for you, forgive me.
Isaac.
I hear.
Yeah.
Isaac.
Yeah.
Yolanda, you why do you like this boy, this guy? Every time Isaac, are they on your day?
Are we
Who
still
is that?
recording? Are we still recording?
No.
Bye.
Isaac.
Yeah.
Yeah, Yolanda. Yolanda.
And Yolanda, who had
Yolanda.
been sir? Day.
Esther. Yolanda.
Hey,
Also
you are a disgrace to Thursday boss. So you are very disgrace to
Esther.
Thursday boss.
Esther.
Bye-bye.
I don't know why you're jealous, sir. Isaac. Isaac, mommy show when him
Yeah.
Oh, no, anyway, hey, bye bye.
Oh.
When you Isaac, off your video, why? See him in chamber and then you have a video
Isaac.
call with her, why?
Yes. Yes.
Isaac.
Yeah,
Yes.
call
Yes.
me now.
Okay.
Who's
This is
your
Alison.
Yes.
Yeah, call me
Yeah.
now.
Okay, Isaac.
Leave
Yes.
the page. Call me.
I should call you.
Yes.
Who is that? Sorry.
Alex.
You say I should call you.
Isaac, you're free, so why? Isaac, you're free, so why?
Okay.